It is with the utmost regret that we inform you of the passing of our sister Tracie. Needless to say, she was a bright light, a wonderful daughter, an amazing sister, a loving mother, wife, grandmother, and a respected performer. We will miss her dearly. Tracie passed this morning as the snow was falling. Our angel is now a snowflake. We ask that you respect our privacy as we plan to send her home with love, celebrating her life. We are family forever. Love, the Braxton family. Tracie Renee Braxton, the third eldest child born to Evelyn Braxton and Michael Braxton Sr., has lost her life at the age of 50 due to a years-long battle with esophageal cancer. Now, for those of you who don't know what esophageal cancer is, it affects the esophagus, that is the pipe connecting the throat to the stomach. Without speculation, some risk factors to consider when it comes to esophageal cancer are age, gender, men are more likely to get it, tobacco, alcohol, gastroesophageal reflux disease, which is shortened to GERD, GERD, obesity, diet, physical activity, and Barrett's esophagus. And there's some other stuff dealing with the esophagus itself that you guys can research more, but when I Googled it, this was the most information I could find. She was born in Servin, Maryland on April 2nd, 1971. Tracie grew up with her four sisters, that is, Toni Braxton, Tawanda, Trina, and Tamar Braxton, along with their brother, Michael Conrad Jr. Early on in life, allegedly, Tracie felt the rejections of her family stemming from Michael Conrad Sr., a Methodist pastor, cheated on her mother, Miss Evelyn, with another woman named Miss Wanda, allegedly at the same church. Also, somewhere back in the 90s, early 90s, 1990s, I do believe they had a group called the Braxtons, and she went on to meet her husband, Kevin, her now husband, Kevin Surratt, and they went on to have a child named Kevin Jr., and this is when Toni Braxton launched her solo career and kind of left, allegedly, Tracie and some of the other sisters behind in the musical industry dust, okay? Now, with that being said, Tracie would always lend her beautiful voice to her sister Toni Braxton over the years, as well as being a part of the group called the Braxtons, as I mentioned earlier, consisting of her and four of her sisters. The brother was not really a part of that group, but I do believe he did some appearances while singing in church and things like that, and he may even be on the Braxtons 2015 album where they sing gospel, I do believe. And let me just insert here, if I may, I believe if that family would have put out more things for God and lived more of a godly life, their careers overall would have been way more successful than that of the Kardashians, who they are so much always related to and compared to, right, when it comes to WeTV and how things, transpired with Tamar Braxton at one point. So, it goes on to say, rebounding from the rejection, Tracie Renee Roberts, she dropped her solo album in 2014. Before I go on any further, it is also said that Tracie kind of left the music scene so she can pursue her career as a youth counselor, and she did some activism, some work over the years substantiating that as well, not to mention being a good wife and a good mother along the way. So she launches her solo album in 2014 called Crash and Burn, okay? Along with a single called Last Call. And that single, Last Call, it charted on the R&B adult charts here in the United States at number 16. Also, she released an album in 2018 called On Earth, which featured, I do believe, her sister Toni, Tawana, and Trina. And I don't believe Tamar was anywhere to be found on this album at this particular time. As well as they released the family album, like I said, in 2015. Our beloved Tracie, let me tell you, being my favorite, one of the 5 sisters or personalities on the Braxton Family Values. Now, Tracie being my favorite, the best personality, and the most transparent, I would also add here relatable, she showed us her bright light on the WeTV series called The Braxton Family Values. Alright? From 2011 to 2020, they were on the air, and it's alleged that this particular time in 2020, Tamar Braxton goes on a rant, realizing that the Kardashians are making way much more money than them, and she was offended a little bit and basically went on a rant and took the Twitter and Instagram, ranting and raving, and now the show has been canceled. She basically rant and raved her family and herself right off the network for the most part. I think the show is on a hiatus, but I'm not too sure, okay? Some of the things most people don't know is that our beloved Tracie, Renee Braxton, she played in a whole bunch of movies. Some of the movies that Tracie Braxton appeared in were BET The Couch, it's like a series. Sinners Wanted is a movie, All In. She appeared on Marriage Boot Camp, The Christmas Lottery, Braxton Family Values Reunion, and A Stranger in My House, and of course, Braxton Family Values, which we all know her for. As mentioned before, an upcoming movie that is not to be released yet, this movie is called Chaw, CHAAW. And ironically, y'all, this movie is about stories of victims of injustices in America. And we all know over the years, it was very apparent that Tracie Renee Braxton felt a lot of injustices from her sisters on Braxton Family Values, right? History of the reality show revealed a lot of injustices toward Tracie from her sisters, allegedly. There was an episode where Trina was getting married and Tracie went to sing with her father at the particular wedding, and it went left real fast because Tracie thought that her sisters were sitting there talking behind her back and laughing at her.
Because guess what? They gonna say I was drunk and anything like that. My sister.
I don't like Sean because he's always in a sister's business.
Oh my Lord, what's that?
Because Tracie thought her sisters was talking behind her back and laughing at her singing with her father. Also, you can clearly see Tracie being the black sheep of the family and allegedly being mistreated by her castmates over the 7 or 8 years, I do believe, 2011, 20, over the 9-10 years they were on television, I believe. So one more thing that I want to mention.
Tracie attempted to save Daddy.
Is that Tracie definitely took the death of her niece, Lauren Lolo Braxton, really hard. And it's sad to watch. So if you feel that you may get triggered, please click off from this part of the video. Fast forward it, do whatever you have to do. And I'll see you back on the parts where you can watch, or I'll see you in the next video, live and or upload. I thank you for appreciating this.
I'm afraid of the reality that I will never see. Oh my God.
Now, how Having lost her life to esophageal cancer, Tracie is survived by her husband Kevin, her son Kevin Jr., her grandchildren, her daughter-in-law, her mother Evelyn Braxton, her father Michael Braxton Sr., I do believe, brother Michael Conrad Jr., sisters Tony, Tawana, and Trina, a host of nieces and nephews, and of course fans and friends from all over the world who truly do love and adore you, Tracie Renee Braxton.
I didn't want to let her go.
God, Tracie, I can relate to you in so many ways, but that's not the video for this. Maybe I'll come back and speak to you personally. But I'm not a necromancy and I don't talk to the dead. So maybe I'll try to connect with that spirit in you because I know it was there.
You can't convince me.
I know it was there.
If Ayana didn't work and somebody cried, they crocodile damn ears out. I mean, what?
See, we call you a bright light now, but sometimes in life, people will hinder your light from shining so that you don't see all of their darkness. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Why are you directing people? Stay in your lane. Sit your ass down.
So with all the fans and people around the world who truly love Tracie Renee Braxton, it is said that her and Tamar had the most tumultuous sisterhood relationship there is. This was written, but it's from Tamar Braxton, and it says, quote, "Random appreciation post to my beautiful, funny, amazing sister at the real Tracie Braxton. I regret this time the most. I was spoiled and stupid, selfish, self-righteous, and overly sensitive. And I made you feel like ish with this irrational, non-deserving post. I think this is when our relationship took a turn for the worse. But look at God. We are closer than ever, probably because we disinvited the devil in our homes. The truth is, you are talented and you make bops just like the rest of us in your own style and in your own way. And it is great music. I still jam till #last call. You are enough and you are for sure not a #wannabe. F them people for saying that. It's not and wasn't okay. You are everything. My big sister, and I love you with my entire heart. Keep being you. It's everything I need. Love you, Tracie. Tracie." Cross, praying hands, heart emoji. Two things I just want to address in here. There's two things I want to address in here. Disinviting the devil from your home. God says if you submit yourself to me, resist the devil, he will flee from you. That's in James 4:7. And I can only encourage you and advise you and comfort you with the word of God so that when you begin to submit yourself to God, you will eventually see the devil flee from your homes and from you and from your lives, right? The second thing I want to address is the #wannabe. Tamar, all I want to say here, if it wasn't okay, if it's not and wasn't okay, then why did you guys allow them to promote that for almost 10 years on television for the world to see Tracie Renee Braxton as the wannabe Braxton sister? That's all I got to say with that. Let's carry on.
Something in the milk ain't clean what you do.
And reports say that she may have made peace with Tracie before she passed away. This is the speculation of some other bloggers, and it is my hope and prayer. I have two sisters that might need to make amends with me, but being a bigger person, I will probably reach out to them and make amends with them first. But it is important. And then again, some people aren't meant to be in your life because they are your greatest antagonist, your greatest enemy, your greatest adversary, your greatest Satan, and your greatest devil, all right? And they will do all they can to persecute you and get on your nerves so that your light doesn't shine as bright as it can. And that's a living witness, okay? That's a real testimony. But if we have to go by the recently surfaced tweets, them repairing their relationship may still be questionable by some. It's my hope and my prayer that they reconcile, especially as believers, because Matthew 5:22 talks about having an ought against your brother, or in this case here, Tracie's case, her sisters having an ought or her having an ought against her sisters. And what they should do and what people in our situation should do when faced with such reality, right? And what we can do to rectify it in the eyes of God. Okay, so before we let Tracie rest in peace, y'all, there's just one more thing that I want to mention here in this video. When researching the movie Chaw, C-H-A-A-W, and what it means, well, not only is it about victims telling their stories of injustices in life and along the way, but would you believe me if I told you that in Chaldean numerology, oh Abraham, the word child, C-H-A-A-W, spelled C-H-A-A-W, is vibrating with the number 7, the value of the Lord's completion. Tracie Renee Braxton, you are now complete in the Lord. May God bless you, sis, and keep you. Make his face to shine upon you. Be gracious unto you. Let his countenance and face be lifted up upon you and rest on you. And may his shalom, peace be in you, on you, and all around you. And may he grace your family with comfort to be courageous through it all. Because these are tough times, definitely, when you lose someone you actually care about. And with that being said, let me know if you learned anything new about Tracie Renee Braxton, if learning of her death was new to you on this channel here first, and what you feel about her extensive career as a television and radio personality, social media influencer, along with being a bright light, a wonderful daughter, an amazing sister, a loving mother, grandmother, and respected performer. And now our snowflake, according to Toni Braxton, that I read in the beginning of this video. And to wrap it all up, Kevin Durant said and told USA Today, quote, she was privately undergoing a series of treatment for esophageal cancer for the past year. She was surrounded by her family and friends at the time of her death. She's gone on to glory. The Braxton Family Values Twitter account wrote a tribute to Braxton, writing that she has been in the lives of TV viewers for years and will always be a part of the We TV family. Gone far too soon, we celebrate her life and memory and send our heartfelt condolences to the entire Braxton family during this difficult time. And some would say they are including Tamar here as well. So some of the celebrities that reached out was DJ D Nice. He commented on Toni Braxton's post, writing, literally reading this as I listened to your music during my flight. My condolences to you and your family. Praying for you all, singer Lettucey wrote. Writer Michael Arsenault wrote on Twitter, Tracie Braxton's passing at 50 is so upsetting. God rest her soul and be with her family. Will this family feud end or continue now that Tracie Renee Braxton has departed this life on March 11th, 2022? Well, you just have to keep watching to see. Child, I was able to go back to 2020 and find this post thanks to Lailah Lynn, okay? I didn't know when Lailah Lynn video came out, but y'all, according to Gossip Girl, it's hot news because about 14 minutes ago, she just did a video on how Tracie tried to hit her mom or fight her mom. Now, I done told y'all my story about me and my mom, so like I said, I'm not amazed when people have issues with their mom. I mean, that's part of life for some of us, right? But y'all, you see, Tawana back in 2020 was being kind of messy, and I believe it has to do with these video clips I'm about to let you see. Stay tuned.
She just didn't like the man at hello. So she didn't want to get involved at all. And
Tracie, you have nothing to ask? No, nothing. I need to stay out of somebody's business.
feelings, Tracie. Well, I can understand that.
Yeah. Tracie, you have nothing to ask? No, nothing. I need to stay out of somebody's business.
Stop being in your feelings, Tracie. Well, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Tracie's just sitting there with an attitude. I'm like, what is going on, Tracie? I think at hello, she just didn't like the man at hello. So she didn't want to get involved at all. Matter of fact, she was a little rude. Extremely.
Don't be like that, Mom.
So, you know what? Could you excuse Dru L just for...
Sure.
Thank you.
Just call me when you...
What's the problem? What's wrong with Tracie?
Nothing. I'm good.
You're being very
I'm
rude.
trying not to be in nobody's business, you know. Rest of the sisters asking questions and stuff like that. So, you know, I just kept quiet because my mother told me to stay out of her business. When I told her I'm going to ask him questions and stuff, I'm going to ask him them questions.
I don't want you in my business.
You're not making it easier for nobody else.
I'm just saying.
Why are you getting mad?
Don't stay out of my business.
I'm trying to give my mom her wishes.
It doesn't make sense.
It really don't.
Tracie, I think you better stop. Tracie, what you gonna do? Tracie.
So as you can see, things got a little heated between Miss Evelyn and Tracie. And Tawanda back in 2020 was telling people how y'all didn't see what was edited off the show. Tracie tried to hit my mother. And so now we're going to move right into another clip where Miss Evelyn comes back and say how she regrets the scene we just saw.
I just need to talk to everybody. After that little episode at the restaurant, I was totally angry with all of my girls. I really don't understand it. I really don't. I do think that they need intervention. When they were growing up, they had the utmost respect for one another. But I'm finding out that the level of respect has gone down. And that can destroy a family, trust me. But I did not like that episode. I did not. It bothered my spirit, it bothered my mind, and it bothered my heart. But y'all just get, your mouth is so nasty. The stuff that comes out of your mouth. I couldn't believe it. I felt totally uncomfortable and totally disrespected.
You told he was going to slap the piss out of him?
But y'all not gonna talk to me any kind of way. You will not disrespect me. And then the next time you do it, I'm gonna slap the piss out of you. I can't take it. I'm getting too old and I'm tired. Why? Because I'm trying to keep my family together. To me, family is everything.
The conversation really broke my heart as a sister. And to see my mom's face expression, it was like her heart just kept dropping. And I was really concerned about my mom.
Here's the thing. If everyone all feels a certain way, then there must be some truth to it. And at that point, you need to kind of step back and reevaluate yourself.
I'm sorry, you want us to apologize to you for...
For how you feel.
How I feel.
For how you feel, but I am definitely on an apology.
I'm never going to apologize. Never going to apologize, comma. Never going to apologize, comma. Never going to apologize, semicolon. Never going to apologize, exclamation point. It's not going to happen.
And if you keep it up, somebody get hurt.
Yes, ma'am.
You need to put that wine down because you acting a fool.
Yes, ma'am. That though, because she feels left behind. It really is. Yeah. And I am seeking counseling. I am. But I think I'm glad this happened because now I would definitely make sure I'm more cognitive to make sure my sister Tracie is included and feels that she's part of the group. So we have to, guys, be conscientious to include her. Nice. Immediate. Thank you for sharing, Tracie. Thank you. That's all good.